Hi, folks. I'm Jamie Hiles,
I'm Lydia Judy.
And I'm Derek Lemaster.
and this is Scream Bloody Movies, the podcast where we review a horror movie each week. We go over the horror news. And guys, tonight we're going to hop clear back to 1962 as we experience The Woman in White. Now, the movie's made in 88, but it takes place in the 60s. Didn't know that. Knew absolutely nothing about this film because it's our first watch. My first watch. Derek's first watch. Lydia's seen it twice, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are experiencing this guy for the first time, and we can't wait to talk to you about it and talk to each other about it. But first, how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
I'm doing pretty good. It was a good day.
Good. For me too. I, got to watch this amazing feature film, and it was a good day to Die Hard. But guys, before we hop into the 60s for this, you know what this movie reminds me of? We'll get into it, but it kind of like it's like if A Christmas Story was like a Halloween film, is kind of what it is.
I feel you on that one.
Yeah. But before we get into that, let's hit up some horror news. Because I don't have a lot, but I've got a couple of pretty interesting things here. Biggest news I have tonight is that it looks like New Line is eyeing a director. This is a report from Deadline. They're saying that they are in talks with Belgian filmmaker Michael Blankert, who made the last year or this year's Night Call, the thriller Night Call. He is being eyed for Final Destination 7, which is in development. So we're getting a new Final Destination. So that's good news that's moving along the track. We are behind on the Final Destinations. I know that I've not seen the newest one yet.
Mm-mm.
But it's gotten really great reviews. It was like it had a really good box office run and really great reviews. So, which reignited that franchise because it was literally dead, right? I mean, it was gone for quite a while. So, what do you guys think of that? About there being a new Final Destination?
What was the title of the last one?
Bloodlines. Shares the title with the best Hellraiser film.
Wasn't there one called The Final Destination?
Yes, which was kind of like the ending of like the original like that timeline. That was kind of like the Final Destination. Yeah, that was part 5, right? Yeah, because now this is part 6 is Bloodline. This is going to be part 7. I think it's a really cool franchise because there's just so much you can do, right?
Yeah,
there is.
It's like never-ending ideas.
Yeah. Now, like, what makes it hard is like, I mean, the villain there's not really a villain. Death is just the villain. But so you don't have that like iconic. The iconic person was Tony Todd, who has left us now. So I don't know. Like the legs are just the spectacle in the kills themselves, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always kind of enjoyed those movies.
Yeah,
me
too.
Especially the first two. I think the first two were gangbusters. And then after that, it kind of gets a little silly. Especially the one where the dude's gets his intestines pulled out of his butthole.
In the pool?
Yeah.
Yeah, the pool one. That's a wild one. Next up, we have a new release date for A Quiet Place Part 3. It is now coming out next summer. 2 summers from now. Summer of 2027. July 30th of 2027. They moved the date because they didn't want to compete with, a little film that's coming out called Man of Tomorrow, which is set to release on July 9th, 2027, which was the original release date. I think this is a smart move, right? I would not want to go head-to-head with Superman.
Mm-hmm.
There's counter programming, and then there's just shooting yourself in the foot, right? Because here's my bold prediction, guys. Man of Tomorrow is going to make a lot of money, and it's going to make more money than Superman made. because people have seen it now and they know what it's about, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and from what I understand, they're introducing some new to cinema characters, so that'll be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and I know this is a little off topic, but James Gunn's hitting home runs in the DCU right now. I mean, just banger after banger. Peacemaker's banging, and Superman was my favorite movie of the year last year, or this past year. So I'm all in. I'm all in. You guys, I think Quiet Place Part 3 is going to be the final installment of the franchise. And Derek, you've not seen any of these, right?
I have not. Nope.
Lydia, you've seen.
I've seen the first one.
Yeah. And the first one's really the best. Part 2, I mean, Cillian Murphy's in it, but that's like, can't go wrong with that.
Right.
But, I liked it. I liked the first one. I think is a really, really good film. I've not seen the day one that they made. We have to get to that. We have to watch that. But I'm excited to see what happens next in that franchise. Guys, this is a bit of cool news. One of our more recent Carpenter films that we just reviewed, In the Mouth of Madness, is getting its 4K release from Arrow Video. With a bunch of special features. It's going to have a 4K restoration from the original 35mm camera negative, and it's going to be HDR10 compatible with lossless DTS and stereo 2.0 options, and a bunch of John Carpenter commentaries. There is actually 3 commentaries on this disc, guys. We're going to have commentary with John Carpenter and Sandy King Carpenter, commentary with John Carpenter and director of photography Gary Kibb, and then a commentary by Colors of the Dark podcast hosts. I don't know who they are, but Rebecca McKendry and Elric Kane. So I'm going to be picking that up on day one, right? I mean, we really all enjoyed that movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a crazy movie.
And guys, check this out. I'm going to show you the art for the cover art, and look at this thing.
I love that. That is gorgeous.
It's stunning, yeah. It's very Lovecraftian, which is super appropriate for that film.
Yep.
And then, of course, that's the box sleeve, because on the disc you can also use the original artwork, which I always do on all of my. I don't have an example up here with me, but on all of my Shout Factory Blu-rays and 4Ks, I always switch the inside cover to use the reverse side and put it on the original theatrical poster, because I usually like the theatrical poster better. Just because, the Shocker, for instance, has this really cool graphic design. It looks really neat. It's great art, but the original Shocker poster is fucking iconic to me. Just the black with him in the electric chair in the middle of this, and it just says "No More Mr. Nice Guy." I love Shocker. It's fucking fantastic. Yeah. It's fantastic, right? And then lastly, I saved this news for last because Derek is going to freak out for this news. You ready? Derek, Rhonda Shear is reviving Up All Night this Halloween with Kings of Horror.
What?
So, on the Kings of Horror
is
YouTube
it on
channel.
USA Network?
No, but listen, on the Kings of Horror YouTube channel, with a Halloween double feature on Saturday, October 25th, they're going to do a Up All Night. And it's going to have monthly specials following that. The creative team includes Liana Quigley, Felissa Rose, musician John Brennan, special guest Yuki from The Last Drive-In, and filmmaker Richard Gabi from Vice Girls. Guys, come on, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Up All Night was a benchmark for us when we were kids, right, Derek?
Yeah, now I've got to see if YouTube has any recordings of that.
Of Up All Night?
Yeah, it was real special with Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, but Gilbert Gottfried and Rhonda Shear together was where it was at.
Yeah.
The best. You were too young, Lydia, right?
Probably.
For Up All Night. Up All Night was fucking that's what introduced Derek to the shit fest that we got to watch, which was Shock 'em Dead. And
It's true.
they had movies like that, but they also had like Toxic Avenger. I remember watching just wild movies on Up All Night. I was up way too late on the weekends, and Rhonda Shear would just be like, "Up all night," and I'd just be like, "Okay," and watch the most fucking wild films I've ever seen in my life on basic.
They do,
cable.
by the way.
They have some.
Yeah. After the podcast, I might just watch the intro to, bask in the nostalgia.
Yeah, it's great stuff. And that wraps up the horror news. Guys.
Hey, before we move into the movie, I want to show you guys something.
Oh, okay.
So, Quincy
put it away, Derek.
For me. No, Quincy got this for me. Let's see if it can focus.
Are they Halloween 2 socks?
Yeah, they are. There we go.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, there you awesome. Go. That is awesome.
You're gonna be so stylish with your white
Jamie
t-shirt.
would appreciate those, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I can't wait to show these off, and I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, man, how am I going to do that? I could do a sock puppet. Just pop out and be like, "Hi guys,
I'm the sheep." Like how the sheep just turns into a Muppet.
Yep. Silent.
All right, guys.
Awesome.
That's great. Picture it. It's tonight because it's the first time I've ever seen this film. So, Derek, you picked this. You've never seen it. We went in blind, right?
Yep.
But Lydia, you have seen this, and you said you saw this where?
Okay, so I saw this probably, I must have been in high school. I think it was, I couldn't tell you what year it was, but it was on TV, on like a movie channel maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It would be my guess. And I just it was on and I just watched it and I sat all the way through it. I couldn't look away. I was just like, what is this movie? I don't know. It was just, it's one of those weird ones where it was just like, why did that? Like, it's almost like a weird memory in the back of your mind. Like, did I really watch that? Did that really happen? It's just such an odd one that nobody talks about.
It's kind of like that. I mean, that's kind of the same thing that Derek had with Children of the Night, right? Like, it was just this weird memory where he's like, remember where they put their lungs outside of their body, and you and I, Lydia, were like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What?
We've never heard of it. And so when Derek picked this, I'd never heard of it, and you're like, oh yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
And you did give us a fair warning after because you'd seen it another time after that, right?
Yep. My AC just kicked on.
Like, what does that sound?
So,
but it's still there.
No? Okay, let me go shut that off.
The dog?
I saw a guy today, by the way, with like with the biggest eyebrows I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, they were
like caterpillar. I was like, oh my god, look at this dude with his caterpillar eyebrows. Made me laugh. But anyway,
yes.
So you saw this a second time, right? This is their third time watching it, and you warned us after the second time you'd watched it that it's a little on the slow side.
Yeah. I think the first time I watched it was in one of those moods. It probably was late at night, and I was probably tired and just like glued to the screen kind of thing. And I remember being like, this movie's really great. Like, this is crazy. And then I tried to rewatch it years after that, and then I was kind of like, couldn't get into it. So I kind of tried to warn you guys, like, I really liked it. It's kind of a slow one, I think.
Yeah, it's a slow burn. So here's the thing with the movie, and we're going to talk about all of it, but I do think that we need to discuss something that is pretty obvious, I think, which is the length of the movie. I think it's a little long.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's about a half hour too long, right?
Yep.
Because it's 2 hours. It's just under 2 hours, like an hour 56 or something like that. I think it should, if it was like an 85-minute movie to a 90-minute movie, it'd be tighter, and we wouldn't have as much dragging. But that's a criticism we'll get into. But I do want to talk about some of the like positives and just the thing itself, because let's talk about the visuals of this movie and the look of it, because I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Now there are some visual effects that definitely do not hold up, especially towards the end of the film. But I think overall it looks pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see the best quality of this movie, but yeah.
How'd you not see the best quality?
Watched it on YouTube.
So did I. It's streaming for free on YouTube, you dork.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was that. Anyway, it was.
Mine was an HD.
I would agree with you though that the special effects were really. I mean, we're looking at this from a future lens, but they didn't hold up very well. But I agree.
Yeah. No, I think
and the locations were pretty fucking amazing too.
The locations were gorgeous, and I also think like there's some pretty strong visuals, like when he goes, like when he dies and comes back, like when he's in the netherworld. I think there's some pretty strong visuals there that look pretty cool. I mean, they're a little cheesy, of course. You have like the sparkles falling down on him and shit, but it's pretty. I like the boldness I like the bold choices of it and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think that is. I think it's pretty good. So the director of the movie, he is the writer as well, Frank LaLoggia, or LaLoggia. I don't know how to say it. I think it's Frank LaLoggia. But the writer is also the director, does the music, also the producer of the film. So he did all of this guy. So this is like a personal story for him. But the plot, what do you guys think of like the basic plot of the movie? Like, I mean, we'll get into like the weeds of it in a little bit, but like this, it's kind of a little all over the place, I think. It
is.
I don't think it focuses very well. Yeah, I don't think it focuses very well.
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. Honestly, some of the subplots are humorous, are dark. It is kind of all over the place, like the whole subplot with Grandma and Grandpa and his cigarettes, man. He's drowning himself.
Dude, that shit, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, and it kind of disrupts the tone of the movie.
There is a lot. I mean, it's like real life. I don't mind when there's kind of slight tonal shifts in movies. Like Evil Dead 2 is a horror movie, but it's also laugh out loud hilarious. So, I'm all about kind of being able to, but they have to mesh somehow. And I agree. They kind of go all over the place with some of the tone. I think that, what do you think, Lydia?
I felt like the one thing I was trying to compare that specific aspect was like a really ambitious Stephen King movie, where you do have like a lot of characters that you're kind of trying to get to know at the same time as like also getting the main story across. But with this being kind of a simple ghost story, it kind of is convoluted sometimes.
I agree. There's a lot that's being thrown at us because we have to keep all these characters in check. We have to keep all these subplots in check because we have, like you said, the Grandma and Grandpa subplot. We have the main plot with Frankie finding seeing the ghost and then being nearly murdered, and the central mystery, which gets lost throughout the meat of the story, which should be the driving force of the story, is I've got to solve this mystery to save this man's life. That's a pretty easy setup and payoff, I feel like. But then we have the innocent man being arrested and then gunned down due to grief and racism. And then we have a whole racism subplot with with segregation ending and integration happening. And then we have the subplot of the dad having lost the mom. We have a whole, for no reason, dream sequence of him at his mom's funeral and like, there's just a lot going on. Then we have the subplot of the lady in white, which it's funny that the movie's called The Lady in White because she's barely in the goddamn thing. It doesn't even really factor into the film until the end.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, when they put Tony Todd on the front of the DVD for Hellfest, and he's in it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, no, I agree.
It's just that kind of shit is weird, and then like yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff. But like our characters, let's talk about like our main character Frankie in the actor. What do you guys think of Frankie in the I think the kid performing Frankie does a pretty admirable job, right?
Yes,
Lucas
love him.
Haas. I think he
So
does a really good
cute.
job. He's very cute. Yeah. I don't think
Agreed.
he's
He's an
bad.
active actor now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I kept trying to place him. I've seen him in other movies when he was young, and I'm trying. Was he in The Omen?
He is not, but he is in Mars Attacks. That's where you know him, by the way.
Probably.
He's also in Inception. He's the one at the beginning.
I did see that.
Yes.
Let's see.
He's in.
Ooh.
Remember in Inception, he's the guy before, like when at the beginning, that first dream that we're in his dream,
Yeah.
and then he ends up selling out Cobb. Remember?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's amazing. Well,
That's
good
him.
for
Lucas Haas.
him.
Yep.
Love that. He's
Yes.
he did such a good job with like
He
not
was
only
in
just
Zoolander.
not
Yes.
only all of the acting, but like the emotional scenes. Like there are a lot
Yeah.
of emotional scenes in this movie that I feel like he did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's really good in this. Like I said, I don't have any problem with him. And Frankie is a pretty well drawn character, I think, for the most part. Except that like it would have more impact if the plot followed through with what we were kind of promised. Like it just there's subplots just mess everything up, I feel like, because we spend way too much time on all this other stuff.
You do, because by the time they circle back to that main plot, you're kind of like, okay, where were we on this?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And so he's great. And then I think that his brother's great. I think the actor playing his brother is really good, right? Gino. And I think Gino's a fun character, just a big brother that kind of bullies his younger brother, but also really loves his younger brother.
Yeah.
And so I think that's I love that sibling plot. I think that's really cute, really strong. And then I think his dad is really good.
Oh, I love his dad. His dad is like kind of the anchor of this movie. He is super honorable. Which
yeah, he's very principled.
Movie, like
very principled.
Very principled. Yeah. He doesn't jump to conclusions. He's probably like the only person who's just like not accepting that this drunk person in the boiler room was the one who tried to do this.
Correct.
And
yeah,
he's so grounded, and I loved their family dynamic. I thought because the mom is not there, you've got grandma and grandpa. I just thought that whole like family, the family scenes really. I don't know that all of them were needed.
That's the problem, is there's just too many. But no, I agree. I think they're good. I think they're really cute and strong. And I think that like if it was like a little family drama, or like a little family quirky comedy, like I said, Christmas Story, or those kind of Gene Smart stories, that those are needed because they're kind of the bread and butter of it.
Like those scenes would have fit in perfectly if it hadn't gone to a dark, murderous like plot where you're trying to like figure out who killed this girl. Like if it was just like a localized ghost story where he's seeing this kid, I don't know what the end plot would be for that, but like those family scenes would have been like in place. Like they would have fit really, really well.
I don't even think it's a bad thing that they're in this movie. I think they fit well, but I think there's just too many of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I think they ground this movie as characters, right, and as a story. But I just think there's just way too many. Like, and there's some like really cheesy shots going on. Like I said, I think the movie looks good, but I think some of the shots are like really cheesy. Like with the like close up of Grandpa's, with goofy music.
I think like the thing that I just kind of had my mind on was that they were forgettable, because watching this movie in high school, I remembered a few parts of this movie. And the family was not the part that I remembered, like the grandparents.
Yeah, because the most
brother,
interesting...
I completely forgot about them.
Yeah, because the most interesting shit is the ghost story, right? That's why we're here. Yeah. And, I mean, the framing device is also really strange because we have him telling the story back, like I said, like we're in like a Christmas story or something, telling about, oh, I remember the time that
yeah.
this happened, because it's like, oh, he's visiting the grave of the little girl, and I knew her, blah blah, and then we go back, but the framing is odd because we never wrap up the framing device story.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if we watch Stand By Me, and we didn't get the ending with Dreyfus, which is kind of what anchors Stand By Me, which is what makes Stand By Me go from a pretty good movie to fucking excellent movie, is that ending. It's fucking. Anytime I can talk about the ending of Stand By Me, it's so powerful, so good.
It really is.
The line, I never had friends like I did when I was 12. Hell, does anybody? It's like, oh, no, we don't. But so I'm gonna talk about some of like his another character, and we'll just talk about the twist, because before we talk about
all that twist coming,
everybody sees that twist coming. By the way, Lydia, did you see this twist coming the first time you saw this?
No.
Oh my god, I saw it immediately, and I'll tell you why. So when we first introduced to them, I don't really, and when they go and give him the bow and arrow, again, don't think anything of it like, oh, these are like this nice farm, kind of like Wizard of Oz farmhands, like, oh, these are his buddies. But then when he talks to him on the porch, as soon as he talks to him on the porch, and they have that very exposition-y dialogue, well, the fact that we grew up because your parents died, we grew up as brothers, and they start talking about that, I was like, that guy's the fucking killer.
That's crazy. The first time I saw this, it completely like shocked me, and like that's why I was like, this is a great movie, because it totally got me. I was scared in that moment.
Derek,
I was scared like I was a kid, like in that position.
No, that part's good. We'll talk about that. But Derek,
yes.
When did you know that? Was it the same scene?
Yeah, no, it was the exact same scene. I will say that the slight deviation I had was the way the other guy reacted. Just for a moment, I thought it was him.
He's supposed to be a red herring. Herring. But as soon as the other guy starts talking, yes,
yeah.
But soon as Phil starts talking to Angelo, the father, they start having like dialogue in that whole backstory. I was like, oh, that's the fucking killer. It's got to be. That's the only thing that makes sense. It's got to be. And then,
real
of course,
quick,
I was right.
I also want to make sure that I picked up. It was a subtle cue, and I don't think they wanted it to be a major piece of the movie because maybe of who the audience was. Towards the end, the bow and arrow scene, he wasn't just a murderer.
No,
I clipped him as a.
Yeah.
Well, he is. He is. They mention it in the movie. Gino says it. He says that he's been.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says that the children have been molested too, right?
Yep.
I missed that part.
Yeah, they've been essayed. The children have been essayed as well. So it's like, yeah, he says that in the movie, and I was like,
missed that part,
and then,
but definitely picked up on it whenever he like got close to him, and you're just like, you son of a bologna sandwich.
Yeah, that's a phrase everybody says.
They should.
But
coined it
so
here.
The inciting incident is really strange, right? It's pretty intense, but it gets real weird pretty quick because he gets locked in the room by his quote unquote friends, which, by the way, old freaking Rookie of the Year friend is a racist in this movie.
Yep.
And
yeah, that's kind of when you get the hint of like the tone that they're about to take with that. Because this little kid is saying some racist stuff, and it's very shocking to hear.
He drops a hard N-word, and I was like, oh my god.
yeah. I was like, oh man, I hate that we have to like talk about that.
Yeah. I wonder if his dad was the sheriff, because he was.
That's racist. Because they wanted to show that, and the sheriff was, slightly racist. Obviously, he had some racial tendencies. Angelo is just like one of the only characters. Well, Angelo and his kids are like one of the only characters that don't have those tendencies at all. But the inciting incident when they're locked in, and when he's locked in, and then we have that weird, like I said, tangent about the mom, and then like her funeral, and then he goes and sees her, and then he sees something. That whole shit is weird, right? Like, I was like,
Yep.
I thought that was going to lead somewhere. It does not.
Nope.
We never see the mom. I thought maybe the mom was going to come back at some point,
Yeah.
Casper style or some shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was like his actual mom too. They looked a lot alike.
Yeah.
I do love how the teacher was totally trying to hook up with his dad. Where he helps her carry stuff out to her car. And she was like, you should have your dad give me a call. I'm in the book. Page 36.
Yeah.
Whatever my name is.
But I also love that the teacher like stands up for him and has like a special liking to him because he's he's a writer, so he's telling that wrote this story that's not very good, but he tells a story.
It's cute.
It's cute. It's cute for a little kid.
Yeah.
But it is.
But it's still pretty bad. You're right. But
and I love how everybody's like on their edge of the seat, on the edge of their seat, like when he's telling the story, and you're just like, really?
Well, the best is when he goes, unless it had babies, and they're like, oh! Even the teacher's like, ooh.
So sweet. We have to talk about the classroom because, oh my gosh, the Halloween decorations in this movie, they slap so hard.
That's really good. That bit's good.
So nostalgic.
With all the kids eating this candy and they're wearing the stuff. But like, so after what do you guys, like, it's really weird how it plays out because he just sees the girl ghost and then sees like the ring fall down the thing. And then he breaks in and he's like hiding. And I think that part's pretty suspenseful. And he's obviously like murdered, but his dad brings him back through mouth to mouth.
Yeah. This guy's not very good at strangling kids.
No, freaking shitty because the other girl didn't die from the strangulation either.
Yeah.
Got some weak ass hands, bro.
Yeah.
Got some weak ass hands. Your grip strength sucks. Get one of these guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, he can barely even hold on to that twig. He's such a puss with his hands. But like when that scene happens, early in the movie, I was like, "Oh, this is pretty intense. This might be pretty good. Might be a pretty good one." And then after that scene, for like 45 minutes, we get like a couple of like instances of the ghost maybe popping up, but it's mostly about the family. It's about the janitor being arrested, and it's about Grandma and Grandpa's cigarettes. So we don't follow that line again till she just shows up and she's like, "Hey, by the way, it's Christmas time, and I need you to help me find my mom." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about."
Yes,
sure.
And the song is really important. That you kind of get to hear it in that scene. But what song is it? I can't even remember what it's called. It's a really old song though. It's old timey. It's pretty cool.
Have Derek over there blowing bubbles. What the fuck is going on?
Got some Halloween candy.
It was just muscle memory, man. Sorry, Lydia. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
He just in the middle of our conversation
blew a bubble, and I'm like, damn it. What did I do that for?
God. Anyway,
well, I needed something in my mouth because my mouth was really dry, and the only thing I could find was bubble gum, and then I'm just like,
well, it's a good thing. Good thing. I'm gonna cut this part, but it's a good thing there's no dicks laying around, I guess.
Yep, yes.
This will be perfect. Anyway, so like that's what we like kind of been talking about is this that kind of like it takes so long to get back into the mystery. Like he goes back to the place and gets the ring out eventually, and then for some reason decides to just tell Phil all of this. And as soon as he does that, you're like, again, if you hadn't figured out the twist earlier, you're like, oh well, yeah, he's telling the killer all the information he needs to know. And you obviously as a high schooler were like, Phil is such a nice friend. I love Phil.
I didn't suspect anybody, I don't think, because I was just like, these are all just people. Like, none of them were being suspicious to me,
Except for when you know Phil, of course, because he's just like, first of all, I mean, like you said, it's like his brother, so he just hangs around. but he just keeps like popping into like, you know, places and just kind of
Yeah,
weird.
I mean it's pretty. Maybe I just wasn't paying that close of attention because it's pretty obvious now.
Yeah.
It couldn't possibly be any of the other characters.
No, it really couldn't. Because there, there's no other characters that were introduced. I mean, we saw the milkman at the beginning, and I was like, maybe it's the milkman. Or yeah, I was like, maybe it's going no new mailman. Derek saw the milkman and was like, "Dad!" No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna make a joke, but I felt like it was inappropriate.
There's a running joke that Derek's dad was the milkman, wasn't there, Derek?
Mm-hmm. My dad swore that I was the milkman's, and I'm like, there's genetics at play here, buddy.
And it's
My
like,
God.
was there a milkman around when?
No,
you were born?
no.
No,
I don't know
Derek
why.
was not born in 1946. What are you talking about?
Oh man, I wish we had a
Milkman.
milkman.
That's so good.
That's one of
I
my
wish we had a
dreams.
milkman too. We have a swan guy still. I think swan drivers are still a thing. So you could probably have them deliver some milk to you and be like,
I'm gonna look
just
into
like
that.
the old days.
Take a lot of lattes here.
Yeah. They also drop off they used to drop off ice cream bars to my grandma's house. I remember that and being like, the Swan Man's here. He's gonna give me some
Yes.
ice cream.
That was
Yes.
There was nothing more exciting than that.
Yeah. Or when the ice cream truck would drive by. Yeah, it's the best.
See, I was out in the country, so I never got that experience.
Oh, man, we got ice cream guys. We also had some fucking wild just dudes riding by on bicycles with ice cream carts, didn't we, Derek?
Yeah, I remember that, like on the three-wheeled bike.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's fucking kind of wild. But anyway, back to this movie. So that plot takes so long to get started, like I said, that we forget about it. And then we go to, he's walking across the street and he's like, oh, this house belonged to this lady that was crazy. She tried to burn herself and then she came back and people think she's crazy. You're like, really weird explanation for that just out of nowhere, but I'm sure that's going to come into play. And then they go and visit the farmhouse, and
With that
we
kid's
see the
fucking pet alligator.
yeah, where we finally see the woman in white. By the way, the namesake of the film. We only saw her once briefly before, and then we finally see her like an hour and 15 minutes into this film, and we spend more time with these kids trying to catch the alligator than we do on the woman in white. It's so long. So this movie, I've got to say, guys, feels like an episode of a Goosebumps episode that is just way too long, right?
Mm-hmm.
It has kind of that kind of vibe. But so when we get to the twist of like the main, we find out who the villain is, right? First, before we talk about that, let's talk about the freaking wrapping up the subplot with the janitor, because it is fucking dark.
It is so dark. I hate it. I hate it so
Why
much.
is that in this movie?
No, I agree. And as soon as she walked over, I kid you not, as soon as she walked over to hit like the other side of the window, verbally I started saying, "Don't do it.
Yep.
Don't do it, lady."
She got that look in her eyes.
Yeah, I mean, you just knew it was coming. Don't do it. And,
Yeah.
then she did.
Imagine how stupid she feels. Not only did she murder a guy, but she murdered an innocent guy. And so now she's going to spend the rest of her life in prison. Yep.
And
But
the
it's
fact
just-
that the woman got hit with the bullet is so disturbing.
Yeah, all of it's
His
like
wife.
very, and it's just like, I mean, I don't know what they're trying to say there. I guess he's trying to talk on the racial tensions of the 60s and the racism that's still prevalent, which still is today. But like, it's kind of strange in this movie, right?
Kind of is, yeah.
Because that's a subplot that could have easily just been like, okay, so, right?
Mm-hmm.
He solves the case. We find the real guy. That guy walks. And then it's like, thank you for saving me. Thank you for this. And, whatever. But that's just a strange choice, I think. But when Gino discovers the the ring and everything, and we find out who that Phil is. I think the third, that little bit, the chase before like the house stuff, is pretty good. The stuff in the car, I think that stuff's pretty good. What do you guys think?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't either.
After Gino finds the ring, and Frankie realizes that Phil is the murderer.
Okay.
And he's in the car.
Yeah,
I think that bit in the car and the chase through the woods is actually pretty good before we get to the house and the lady in white. I think that stuff's really strong.
Yeah. No, it is. So here's a question. Because I was watching this. I was watching it pretty closely. How did he just figure it out?
He was
like,
whistling.
Was there any cue?
He was whistling a song.
Whistling the song.
Yeah, whistling the song. Yeah. Whistling the song that he heard.
The little girl was singing.
Singing,
she says,
yeah.
That's your favorite song. Derek, did you watch this
like
movie
that-
in black and white again?
No, but I feel like that's fairly flimsy. But I
kind
know
of
I
is.
do remember
Yeah.
that.
I don't think it's
I
flimsy
do remember
at all.
him whistling, and then it was just like I don't know. I felt like it wasn't enough. But
the little girl
Okay.
sings the song when she's a ghost and gets murdered in the closet. The song is playing when she's like, "Help me find my mom," and she grabs
Mhm.
the angel on the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, only the killer. This is the killer's favorite song, and then he starts whistling that song.
But what if instead, like, what if it was fucking "Shake It Off," and the entire world has heard it? You know what I mean? So it's like he's just happened to be like, and he's like, "You did it." He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
But it
You
wasn't.
caught me.
It
I'm a Swiftie.
It was a very
little
specific
flimsy,
song.
but you know.
Yeah. I mean, I understand where both of you are coming from. I've got to side with Derek on it's a little flimsy, but they do a good enough
it
job.
was like an hour and a half ago.
That's the problem. Yeah. They do a good job of reinforcing it several times throughout the movie, but Derek is also right that it happened such a long time ago, and we watched Grandpa lose a cigarette for the 14th fucking time that we forgot about it. But I think
the thing that frustrates me was that he like dropped the ring. I'm like,
Yeah.
Put that thing away.
Yeah, he drops the ring, and then
The brother picks it up and doesn't tell him.
yeah, well, he's gonna hawk it. Is why he's originally gonna hawk it. Well, no, it's because I'm sorry. Here's why. He takes the ring. He's not gonna hawk it. He finds the ring, and he's like, "Aha, this is Dad's ring."
Yeah.
And I'm going to prove. That's why he says, "You've been in the chest, and I can prove it." Is because he's going to be like, "Ah, look what I found. You had this. You've been in Dad's chest, so I'm going to lord this over you to get something for it."
Mm-hmm.
But then when he discovers, wait, the ring, Dad's ring, is actually in his case. There's two of these, and he puts it together with looking at the, initials, which, by the way, gets interrupted by Grandpa having a cigarette, like I said, for the 14th time. And then he pieces it together with the yearbook. This is Phil. This is Phil. This is the only thing.
Did we ever figure out what Phil did for a living?
Yeah, he worked at
the school.
No, he worked with the dad. He's there helping him build the fucking gate.
Oh yeah. And the reason why I asked this is
You watched
does
this
the
movie
entire town just know, because that's too small of a town, that the school is replacing their boiler?
Well,
that's the entire reason why he went back to get the ring.
He probably knew because Frankie probably said something to his dad and Phil because they're together all the time.
Could
and
have,
Phil,
but we didn't get that exposition, right?
We don't need it. We can kind of infer that. Well, he knows that the boiler is going to be replaced, and so that's why he goes there. But I think the chase scene in the car is pretty good when he's locking the doors, because we see Phil finally his mask lifts and we see who he really is. Like, he loses it.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty good. But the once they get to the house and the woman in white shows up, movie kind of goes off the rails, guys.
It does.
What do
She's
you guys think
real. She kills him.
But she
the
doesn't
kid
kill
in a
him.
creepy bed.
Yeah, she doesn't
lives
kill
by
him.
candlelight, which is really dangerous.
What do you guys think of this ending?
It's wild. It's really wild.
What do you think, Lydia?
Yeah. It's the fact that it was like the sister of the woman in white was like living in the house. That's what makes it a little confusing.
It's all really confusing because the woman in white is actually the sister, but there's also the mom who's also the woman in white. And so she is, like, oh, I missed them. I tried to do this, but they wouldn't let me die, blah, blah. So she saves them, and Frankie's laying in the bed, like, terrified. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And then Phil comes in and just beats the crap out of her after he strangles her. Again, she doesn't die from the strangulation because he sucks at strangling people. He is not the Boston Strangler. He's the fucking worst. Like, people would be like, Phil, bro, you gotta step up your fucking strangle game. After all that, it's
Maybe
just so
try
weird.
an arrow.
Yeah, you're pretty good at that. Pretty good at that. Though he did kill 11 kids, but I think most of them died from either fear or he threw them off cliffs because he definitely didn't fucking strangle any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
he
even
sucks
the
at that.
little girl was alive when he threw her off the cliff.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, at the very end, we get like the actual woman in white coming down and like strike. It's so confusing. She like strikes the windmill with lightning, and it scares him enough that he
Sure.
turns around, and then he just falls down, and then he climbs up him, and then he falls. It's just so strange, right?
Yeah.
And then, and then Phil's like falls off. He's like hanging, like, but we think he's gone, and we see the reunion of the woman in white and her daughter. But I don't know what Frankie did to bring them together.
Yeah,
Is it because he put the barrette back?
Get in the house.
Yeah. Is
Like,
it
she
because
was flying out of the house that she?
Yeah. Is it because the barrette? He put the barrette there, and maybe that's what did it. But he did that earlier.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know how that actually
maybe
happened.
Just by bringing the killer there.
Maybe, and so she can get her revenge, and I don't know. So that's really confusing, right? I wasn't the only one that's confused by that.
Yeah,
Okay,
it didn't
good.
make sense. I guess I just accepted it. I was just
I
like,
did too. I accepted it too. I was like, oh, cool, they're reunited. But then I was like,
I'll be
why?
honest with you. I like checked to see how much time was left, like 10 minutes earlier. And I was just like, come on.
Let's go.
I'll accept anything you want to just throw at me. Just
get it
in the
get it
movie.
out. And then we have and then the whole ending with Phil. Angelo still, after all of this stuff, tries to save Phil because that's who he is, a principled person.
Mm.
And Phil decides he can't live with the shame of his best friend knowing that he tried to kill his son and that he's a kid diddler and a murderer. So he lets go. That's what the movie's inferring us, is that he just let go because he can't handle all that. I think it's because he's just got weak-ass hands and he just can't hold on any longer.
Yeah, no, I inferred that he didn't want the shame.
Yeah, he didn't want to face
And,
the music.
Yeah.
Didn't want to face the music. But
It's
I
disgusting.
prefer him just having weak hands because we saw his strangle game already.
That's pretty
So.
funny. Yeah.
Nah. But the actual ending of this movie is so strange because, like I said, we don't have an ending, a wrap up to the framing device, and it just we don't have a conclusion to the subplot with the janitor. He's dead, but we don't see how the wife is. We don't see any of that stuff. We don't see him being exonerated and all that stuff. It literally ends with them staring at the house that's on fire. It's so awkwardly, by the way. They all just stand there. They're all just standing there, and it starts to snow. What'd you guys think of this last
I
shot?
turned it off as soon as, was it even real snow? I don't even know, man. I was like, okay. I turned it off.
I'm gonna say it probably wasn't real snow.
No, it wasn't real snow.
Because it looked
Derek.
terrible.
They were on a stage. You could tell they were on
Yeah,
a stage.
definitely a soundstage, yeah.
Well, I
The
meant, was it even
background
appropriate
never-
for the time of year? I didn't mean, was it real?
Yeah, because they said, because actually Gino
Yeah.
says earlier, we might get some snow. They said that we might get some snow. Isn't that lucky? And he goes, yeah, lucky. It's when they're in the
Yeah.
woods.
And they're all wearing earmuffs and sock caps and coats the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
mean,
but
that's
that ending is really, really dumb.
Yeah.
It needs maybe some work.
It needs some. I mean, I don't want to make the movie any longer, but It just ends very abruptly, I
It
feel
needs
like.
to be simplified, and then also maybe a
Some
little uplifting.
epilogue for some of that
You know
stuff.
what?
Yeah.
One day, one weekend, if I'm just like really bored, I'm gonna recut this movie. That didn't work.
Jesus criminy.
You just scared everybody.
Here,
No,
let
you
me
know what
try
you
that
did? You just
again.
demonetized our video by showing a knife.
I'm gonna recut this movie.
Okay, we're not going to do that. Well, that's just going to be cut out.
Why?
I just said why. I just said why. You can't show
This was a
weapons on YouTube.
Yeah, you can. I see people
No, you
shooting
can't.
stuff all the time.
You can't. So since we're here, let's also talk about the special effects. Like, what do you think of the ghost effect in general?
I don't hate it. I like it.
I think it's fine.
In a nostalgia
Yeah.
way, it's good.
I think it's pretty okay. I think the ghost effect is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
go ahead.
that specific effect is fine.
Yeah.
Once they started trying to like carry the ghost or move people through skies or
there's some
whatever.
really bad rotoscoping in this movie where like
Yep.
basically it doesn't match, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you could clearly see the rotoscope lines around everybody. And the falling when Phil falls, it's really funny. He's like, bah!
Yeah. That whole cliff sequence is just like clearly not on a cliff.
No, they clearly. I mean, that was kind of rough. But you know, it's 1988.
Like, well, they had to match like a fire lighting.
Yes.
You know, like that. You can just the edges would have been impossible at that time to even get that right. I mean, they would have needed a matte painting, is what they should have done.
Yeah. So I think they tried. They did a matte painting for the city earlier.
Yeah.
And it looked okay. This movie was made on a $4.7 million budget that was raised by the filmmaker, by old Frankie himself, Frank LaLoggia, and his cousin, Charles LaLoggia, traded initially on NASDAQ for 10 cents a share, and they ended up raising the money after producing a 7-minute promotional reel for the project. They got New Sky Communications, which is their penny stock offering. They got them to secure $4.7 million from 4,000 investors. And that's how
they all lost their money.
They did, because the movie made $1.7 million at the box office.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was a big bust. It did, however, it had pretty positive reviews. People seemed to like it. But, you know, that's it. That's interesting. So in the music, he did the music, and I think it's fine. I think it's a little too too sappy at times, right? A little too maudlin at times. But it's not like the worst music I've ever heard or anything. It's not distracting. And I do like the setting. Like I said, I do like the setting, and I like the tone for the most part of some of that stuff, like the family stuff, but it's just all over the place, this one. This one's kind of all over the place, guys. Is there anything that we missed before we get into our ratings that you wanted to talk about specifically?
I don't think so. I feel like we covered a lot of it.
I think so too. Derek, what do you think of The Lady in White?
There were parts of this movie that were really nostalgic. Like, you know, the leaves, the whole aesthetic for that period of time. So like
the whole aesthetic for the Halloween section especially, I think, is really good.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, and growing up, you know, you're a child of the 80s, and like it's hard to watch a movie and like this and not be like, I miss it. But that's about all it had going for, at least from my perspective. Like this movie, I was serious, even though we'll probably cut that portion out. Like I tell you what, if you spent a weekend, you could recut this movie and probably make it like go up a couple notches just by cutting off, because it's got a lot of fat.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of fat. There's like a movie and a half in this movie, but yeah, you know, everybody did a great job in acting. I just feel like this movie kind of lost itself a little bit and what it was trying to be. I'm going to give it a 4.
What do you think,
Or a
Lydia?
Mad Dog.
I really do like this movie. I like the scary parts a lot.
But okay. I don't think it's
Personally.
scary.
It's not scary, but there are a few like kind of parts that stuck with me. Of
Mm-hmm.
the closet. It's really freaked me out. It was really memorable. I liked that there were like two doors. I liked that he was kind of perched up in the corner, like just waiting for morning. Like that in itself is like so scary to a kid, like to be stuck somewhere. You know, your parents, like, I really liked the dad character a lot.
Mhm.
I really thought it was so spooky when the uncle or you know, friend, whatever, you see his true self come out. That was really effective for me the first time I saw it, which in this time it was, you know, a little different because I was like, as soon as I saw him I was like, that son of a bitch. You know what I mean? But I don't know, I do really like this movie as like a ghost story, but yeah, it's a little long, just a little long, but I feel like this would also be a good candidate for a remake.
Mhm.
I feel like this could be good stuff in somebody else's hands, like in a more modern setting. I think I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Yeah, I'm around there. I think so. Full disclosure, I think the first part is really cool with the Halloween and stuff. But there's a point in the middle where I also time watched. It was like, man, like how much more time is? And I was like, it's only been 20 minutes. You know, like wow, not a lot has happened, and there's not a lot that's engaging me. So I think that there is some, like you guys said, there's fat that could be trimmed. There's a lot of like stuff that I feel like as a filmmaker, the director was definitely thinking this is the important stuff. This is what this movie's about, which 100% agree. I get that. You probably have Final Cut. You're like, this is the movie I want to make. But sometimes we gotta kill our precious babies, right? You got to be in the edit. You got to watch it, and you got to say, this is taking too long. You know, do we need 4 scenes of the family when we could have 2 and just pick the 2 best scenes? You know, those kind of sacrifices should have to be made sometimes, because I think that's the biggest detriment to this film, is that it's just a little too long and there's just too much going on. What should have been, if this movie was focused literally on just the ghost story aspect with the family stuff in the background, and we had basically that was a driving force, that's the engine that motivates Frankie from one scene to the next, and he's investigating and he's trying to figure this out, and he lets his brother in on it, and his brother sees the ghost, and then they're both trying to sleuth this to figure it out, and then they end up finding out that it's Phil, and then all that happens. I think this would have been a higher ranking for me. I'm gonna give it about a 5.5, 5.5, almost a 6, because there's stuff in it that I do like, but I do think it's kind of that I think the negatives are more than the positive for me, because there's just a lot that you have to wade through. But I think the good stuff is good, and I think that I like the swings that are taken on some of the stuff. I do like some of that darker tone stuff. I don't, it threw me off, but I like that he made the swings for those. I like that he has something to say. He's a filmmaker with something to say, and he felt like it was important to get this message out about the toxicity of racism and the toxicity of like kind of judging people. I think that's important, but I don't know if this was a story for it. And I think all of that kind of weighs down what should have been like a simple, interesting ghost story, right?
Yeah.
Now, guys, it's time to Atkinize this movie. Who would the great Tom Atkins play in Lady in White?
I'll say the dad.
Yeah, it has to be, right?
I liked the dad's performance, but yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
I think he would do great in that role.
he would. He'd do real great. By the way, do you guys know who the sheriff is in this movie?
Who is it?
So I don't know if you've seen this actor very much, Lydia. Derek, you know who the sheriff is?
I kind of forget. Let me see if I can get a picture of him. What was his name?
His name is he's not listed in the Wikipedia really, but he is the. Did you see a picture of him yet, Derek?
Yeah, I don't know.
He is the janitor from Die Hard 2. Die Harder.
Oh,
Remember?
no, it's been a
Oh,
while since I've seen Die Hard 2.
it's been a year because I watch Die Hard and Die Hard 2 every Christmas. He's the he's the janitor from Die Hard 2. He's very memorable for me. Every time I see that guy, I think of that movie. I'm like, great movie. So guys, that is Lady in White. Lydia, it's your pick. So 4th episode of Halloween Town Time. That's the thing I just made up. It's for Halloween-thon. Lydia, what is episode 4, the episode that is airing the week of Halloween?
Well, we always have to do a Halloween movie. So we are going to do Halloween H2O.
That's right. That's right. We're on the
water.
We're on the 7th Halloween film. This one was a big one when it came out. This was a big deal. So it's been almost 30 years since this movie came out, by the way, which is wild.
Don't say that.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Like, it was when Halloween 2018 came out, this movie was about 40 years old, or 20 years old. It was about 20 years old at that time. And now that Halloween 2018 is almost 10 years ago now, guys.
What the hell? Don't say
I know,
that.
it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Don't say that to me.
I know, but we are going to watch Halloween H2O. Let's see where that's streaming. Halloween H2O is streaming on HBO Max, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube, Fandango, the Roku channel, Google Play, and Apple TV. Or you can buy the Shout Factory 4K, which is what I have. And I also have them on Blu-ray and DVD. I own fucking H2O a lot. Have it on VHS, I think, too. So, or you can buy it. But that is where Halloween H2O is. And that is our Michael Myers flick next week. I'm really excited to talk about it. There's a lot to dive into with H2O, so it should be a good one. So, guys, that's our show for tonight. Tell us your thoughts on the spooktacular Lady in White. Do you guys disagree with us? Do you guys love this movie? We were all kind of middle of the road on it. Do you have stronger feelings about it, or are we crazy for even giving it as high of a rating as we did? Let us know what movies you want us to do in the future after Halloween time and Thanksgiving time. Actually, throw some Thanksgiving ones out that aren't Thanksgiving so we can save ourselves next month. Please, we're begging you for the love of all things holy. Give us some of those thoughts and drop some comments down below. You can find us online at HiLaProductions.com. You can find us on Facebook at HiLa Productions. And stay tuned after this to get a sneak peek in the opening scene to our horror movie that we're shooting. It's a slasher film called Secret Admirer. The opening scene is linked at the end of this episode. So check that out. Let us know your thoughts on that. And stay tuned for some exciting news coming regarding Secret Admirer. We are currently working on financing. So, for Derek Lemaster and Lydia Judy, I'm Jamie Hiles. And remember, if you're going to scream bloody movies.